Okay, so this is the review. This is a video going on the review for 15, for test 15, for Algebra 1. The review and the test. So the review and test 15 are both due this coming Thursday, the 9th. I'll send out the test and the review in an email as an attachment. You do not have to print them out. You can if you want to, but you don't have to, but you will have to send me pictures, you know, that you have it done. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to work all of these out, explain as I'm working through them. You will use the review on the test. Make sure your review looks just like my review, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so on number 1, Casey bought 20 pens, some ballpoint, some felt tip. Ballpoint pens cost 25 cents each, and felt tip pens cost $1.25 each. If Casey spent $15 on pens, how many felt tip pens did he buy? So he bought pens. He bought felt tip and ballpoint pens, and he bought 20 total. Tells us that ballpoint pens were 25 cents each, so 0.25B. And then felt tip pens were $1.25, and he spent a total of $15. So there's the two equations we have to set up and solve. So what I would do is I would get rid of these decimals on this bottom one and change it to 125F plus 25B equals 1500. I just moved the decimal out twice on them. Then what I would do is I would use elimination. You don't have to, but I think it's an easy way to do it. So I'm gonna eliminate, because we want felt tip pens. I just want felt tip pens. So I'm going to multiply by a negative 25, because that'll give me a negative 25B. That'll cancel out with this 25B. Now again, you don't have to do that. You can find both if you want to. And I do 25 times 20. So this is negative 500. So then my B's cancel, which is what I want. And then 125 minus 25 is 100F equals 1,000. And you divide by 100. So F is 10. So there were 10 felt tip. So make sure that you label it. Make sure that your review on number 1 looks just like mine. Again, you can use this on the test. So make sure that your test, that you show all of your work like I'm showing you on the review. Then on number 2, we have to use the data in the table, find an equation for the trend line, which means I want the equation of the line. So you're going to use the first x and y, which is 1, 7, and you're going to use the last x and y, which is 6, 12, and that's what you're going to use on the test, okay? So you're looking at this chart right here. This is the first ordered pair. This is the second ordered pair that you use. So that's what you're going to do on the test as well, okay? So then you're going to find your slope first, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 12 minus 7 over 6 minus 1, which gives you 5 over 5, which is 1. Now, some of you are doing something really weird on your slope. You're taking this 5 over 5 and you're writing it as an ordered pair, and I have no clue why, but that's wrong. You simplify that fraction. 5 over 5 is 1, so your slope is 1. Now you're plugging into y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And then you use one of these points. You can either use 1, 7 or 6, 12. I'm going to use 1, 7. So y minus 7 equals 1 times x minus 1. So y minus 7 equals x minus 1. Add 7 to both sides. And y equals x plus 6. So that is the equation of your trend line. And that's where you stop. So that's how you do number 2. Then on number 3... you have the square root of 16a cubed b cubed. Okay, so we're going to take the square root of each separate thing. So I'm going to take the square root of 16, it's 4. I'm going to take the square root of a cubed, which means I'm going to break it up into a squared and a, and then take the square root. So the square root of a squared is a, and I leave that a underneath there. I'll come back to that. I make b squared and b. So I take the square root. So square root of b squared is b, leaving that b underneath. So I put an a on the outside, b on the outside, and then an a and b stay underneath. So that's number 3. Then number 4, we are taking 3a to the 4th b to the 5th and squaring it all. So that means 3 has to be squared. A to the 4th has to be squared, so it's 4 times 2. And b to the 5th has to be squared, so it's 5 times 2. So it'd be 9, a to the 8th, b to the 10th. That's number 4. Then let's see on number 5, a to the 4th over b to the 4th times 3b to the 5th over a to the 4th plus 5b to the 7th over a squared. So that's how 5 starts. So you're going to distribute, so that'd be 3 a to the 4th b to the 5th over b to the 4th a to the 4th plus, distributing to the second one, 5 a to the 4th b to the 7th over b to the 4th a squared. Now you have to simplify each fraction. For example, notice there's an a to the 4th in the top and an a to the 4th in the bottom. So those cancel. B to the 4th goes into b to the 5th and leaves a b. So you'd have 3b. Plus, second one, we've got an a squared coming into a to the 4th, which leaves an a squared, because 4 minus 2 is 2. And then b to the 4th goes into b to the 7 and leaves b cubed. So that would leave 5a squared b cubed. So that's your final answer on number 5. Okay, then number 6, you've got the square root of 81 over 121. So the square root of 81 is 9, the square root of 121 is 11. There you go. Number 7, you want to write a compound inequality that represents all the numbers that are greater than 2.5 and less than 7. So greater than 2.5 and less than 7 is how that's written. That's a conjunction. And you have to graph it, so 2.5 open circle, 7 open circle, shading in between. So that's the way 7 should work. Then on 8, you want to compare line 1, which is 5, 2, and 3, 0, with line 2. This is line 1, this is line 2, which is negative, no it's not, negative 5, 2, and negative 3, 4. So you are asked if these following ones are perpendicular. So what you have to do is you have to check the slope. The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2, so 0 minus 2 over 3 minus 5. 0 minus 2 over 3 minus 5. Slope formula, we talked about it a lot. So that would give me positive 1 for that slope. Then I work the slope for these second 2 points. So 4 minus 2 over negative 3 minus negative 5. Be very, 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 very careful with these signs. 4 minus 2, negative 3 minus negative 5, 2 over 2, because that becomes a positive. That becomes a positive, which is 1. So these are not perpendicular. They are parallel because they're the same. When they're the same, they're parallel. This is the same slope. Perpendicular, just as a reminder, because on the test they might be perpendicular, so you need to know how to figure out if they are opposite reciprocal slopes. So 1 and negative 1 are opposite reciprocals. Those are perpendicular. 2/3 and negative 3 over 2, those are opposite reciprocals, so those are perpendicular. So that's the kind of thing. If you had 2 and negative 1/2, those are perpendicular because they're opposite reciprocals. So that's how you recognize if they're perpendicular versus parallel. Parallel is the same slope. And those have the same slope, so they're parallel, not perpendicular. So that was number 8. Number 9, you're factoring x squared minus 3x minus 10. So I need the factors of negative 10 that give me negative 3, which would be a minus 5 and a plus 2. X minus 5x plus 2. That's that old type of factoring. Then on 10, you've got that newer type of factoring, that advanced factoring, where you have to do 4 times 1 and get 4, and you want the factors of 4 that give you 5, which are 4 and 1. So then you rewrite 4x squared plus 4x plus 1x plus 1. So you take a 4x out, and you get x plus 1. You take a 1 out, and you get x plus 1. And then you get 4x plus 1. X plus 1. If I'm going too fast on any of these, stop it, stop the video, rewind, watch it again. It's the best thing about these videos is because you can stop it. If you get stuck, you can stop it and watch it again. So you're not stuck anymore, okay? So make sure you do that. Again, make sure your review looks just like mine, showing all your work. I'm showing you exactly how I want to see your work. Number 11, the Ortiz family is renting a hotel room for 5 days. They can spend $755 at most. So we're just going to put an equal sign there, okay? There's a service fee of $30, so they have to pay $30. And it's for 5